not going to be that helpful because it doesn't have invincibility anymore. And the cape, half magic drain. Or double magic drain, rather.
As we get a piece of heart in Link's house to start, I want to say you noted in a difficult boss. Having seen Solski's last time that he played this mode and chose this mode, I just hope he practices Aga 1. He had some trouble with that last time, I think.
Yeah, Aga 1's going to be a problem. And some people might consider the net a requirement, and we have a map check here.
Yep, I pause it here. I do see a red crystal on Palace of Darkness. Yeah, Palace of Darkness, and there's a pendant in Swamp.
So that means our other 2 pendants and our other 5, 6 are in the light world. We don't know which one's where. But we know that we have to go there.
Yep, so the first question that would be asked of anyone who is watching this for the first time is, what do they do first in the Dark World? Well, if you start at Link's house, you're going to find that it's located where the bomb shop normally is, and in the light world, the bomb shop's going to be located where, Link's house normally is.
Of bombs, there's Bombos on Bumper Cave.
We'll need
the cape and the mirror to get it, because Bumper Cave is in the light world. Well, what does that make that cave over there? That cave is our way up to Death Mountain. It is the old man cave.
And we'll talk about the old man when we get to him later, too. So, yep. And, I lost my train of thought there for what you were saying there. Sorry about that. Leyra looks like he's trying to farm some bombs here. So he's going to take some deaths here, and he's going to get some more bombs for his inventory. I've seen a lot of runners do this. This is one of those things that runners will do as a strategy. I have seen the occasional seed where you get some early bombs. You don't have to do this, but if you don't find any early bombs, this is a good way to guarantee yourself not only some bombs, but also some magic as well. So you have some things. Oh, a mushroom already for the light world witch.
Very nice. Although I barely saw that mushroom. Things are not too pleasant for my eyes right now.
I'm sorry to hear that. Leyra is taking a trip through the Skull Woods area. Now, something of note here, I mentioned that they start in the dark world, and if you start in Link's house, you're pretty much not going to find much else down there except for Stumpy, which can often be routed in with other checks. So they immediately go to the north, where you can start in Dark Sanctuary and go to Village of Outcasts, get a few chests, go to Thieves Town, go to Skull Woods, as they are now, get a few chests. Those are the kind of locations that are open early. If you find some really good items, like, I don't know, Titan's Myths very early, which has happened in some seeds, you can get to Light World right away, and it's almost like any normal seed, just with inverted physics.
Yeah. Of course, Titan's Myths being required is just one of the ways we can get to the Light World. But if we find the hammer, the only thing that's needed from that, in terms of Titan's Myths, rather, I'm getting thrown off here. It's the it's just King's Tomb. That's all you need the Titan's Myths for, really.
Now, Leyra is in the annoying statue room. As Leyra pulls that statue, we're going to go look at Hype Cave from Solski. We first get 10 arrows. We get a piece of heart. We get 5 rupees. We get the bow to fire those 10 arrows, and the power glove. Wolflink, rate this Hype Cave.
About a 6, although I saw all those items after you said them.
And I want to take a quick moment to explain those icons at the top of the screen, because I know there's often going to be questions as to what those icons do mean. You see the Ganon icon. That means that the goal is to defeat Ganon. You don't have to do all the dungeons unless, for some stupid reason, the logic requires you to, like Pedestal or Aghanim. The second icon is the bunny. That means that you're playing inverted mode, which is what they're doing. You start in the dark world, they have to make their way to the light world to defeat Ganon. The sword with an icon through it means they're not going to find a single sword. You will see where the sword locations would be if this were generated with swords. Those are indicated by a simple green rupee with a 20 over it instead of a regular big 20. And then you have the H, which stands for hard mode difficulty. That basically means you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. Hard difficulty, basically, I can list off the ultimate change there. We have only 14 hearts total. We don't get a red mail, mirror shield, or butter sword. Not that that one matters because we're swordless. We have no half magic. Our cape drains double magic. We have no invincibility on the Cane of Burna unless we're in. And those last
medallion, by the way.
Oh, nice. There it is. And also, Boomerang does not stun, and our potions only heals for 7 hearts and half our magic capacity. Oh, and also, we can't turn anti-fairies into fairies. They only turn into hearts.
Yeah, that's a bit of a unfortunate change, but it does make it harder, so can't question that. We have a cape on Solski's side as well in the another Village of Outcast chest. So Village of Outcast, as tends to be in inverted mode, is stacked. Solski is the first to go to Thieves Town today. Top left corner, we have of the first room, we have a piece of heart. And there are 3 more chests we can get in the front. One of them has to be a big key because we're not playing Key Sandy. You notice that blank spot next to the H is where the variation would be on the icons. There is nothing there. So the keys are where you would normally find them. The enemies are where you normally expect to see them. And the bow functions the way you normally would expect it to.
Yes, and that is because we don't allow any variations with inverted mode. Even if our runners want one, they can't have it. So
they were trying to time a trip up to the path there with a skeleton running around up there. Solski's on his way to the 3rd chest. That 2nd chest, by the way, I never said was a compass.
yeah.
Solski finds a big key. And there's one more chest over here.
Yeah, so there is a difficulty in which the anti-fairy shouldn't be. That's insane mode.
Moon Pearl.
Nice.
So that's going to open up the Light World access to some extent. Now, in terms of they won't be a bunny in the Light World, they still need the hammer, which is, by the way, the primary weapon in a swordless seed. You can't finish a seed without a hammer in at all. You still need the Titan's Mitts for a lot of Light World access as well. That's most of it right there.
Yeah, and so he's gonna get some help here. Both runners are gonna have a 3-heart Thieves Town here. It looks like Solski's gonna go deeper in. There are some bombs here. And I didn't see where Leyra died, unfortunately.
I think it was the intentional death within Thieves Town. It looked like a death warp.
Yeah. Yeah, my feet's just jumping all over the place here. I don't know what's going on.
Leyra is checking out Hype Cave as well, so Solski is going to throw pots at the bat, skulls at the bat. Some cash is above the pose. We're not going to see Graveyard Ledge today. Now, Graveyard Ledge is one of those places that is different because of the mechanics. That's normally a mirror spot. There's now a convenient ladder climbing up to the Graveyard Ledge, but we're not going to be checking what's up there because, it's cash. At least Solski won't be checking it.
Yeah.
And Leyra making the way back towards Thieves Town. Looks like he's going to the digging game, actually. Or maybe Stumpy. I'm not sure. We're going to find out in a moment here. He's firing arrows at the guards.
It's probably Stumpy, considering Leyra doesn't have any money.
Oh, yeah. Very true. Very true. Solski did open up the Sunshine Room. I did not catch what the item was in there.
I didn't catch it either. Unfortunately.
Stumpy drops the first sword location. Again, we don't have swords, but Leyra would have a sword from Stumpy right now, if there were swords in the seed today.
And yeah, folks, for those wondering, this was Solski's pick, Solski being the higher seed of these two. This is their game 1. Don't think we mentioned that yet.
Leyra is playing the money game, the shooting gallery is what it's actually called. As you can see, every statue in the back row that is hit increases the rupees. If you hit them in succession, you get 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 rupees. That's a quick, by my math, I'm risking doing math on Twitch, 124 rupees, I believe, that you get doing that. So if you hit all the statues, you're in good shape for money very early in the seed, which is very important because a lot of things in the Dark World do require money. Yeah.
We're going to see the item here on the Thieves Town side. It is our Titan's Mitts, actually. We have both gloves in... Or we have our other glove. So we have Dark World access. Or, sorry, we have to be correct here. Light World access for Solski.
It's so common to just say it the other way around, isn't it? So we're getting a look at the digging game now that Leyra has some money, and this is the digging game that I hypothesized earlier. Dig number 12, 13, 14. We're going to get number 15, Vanilla 15, gets the red boomerang, which is definitely not vanilla.
Yeah, that's not vanilla at all. Red boomerang.
And the runners probably still want a little bit of help. We got a late world map check. I saw the blue pendant over at Eastern Palace, but it was really quick.
R56 is desert. We need the book.
Ooh, interesting.
And as far as the other two are concerned, that's our other pendants. And
we're getting a look at the well. So we're getting our Kakariko clean out from Solski now that we can get to the light world. And the well, just 5 rupees in the back chest. I didn't see anything good here yet. Let's see what's in here. Piece of heart, 10 sticks, and a big 20.
I'm kind of glad you caught that because I missed like 2/3 of that. I had to ask someone about this. The commentary stream's not working out for me. It's being weird.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. I'll call it the items that we have in Blind's Hut as well here. We are in the back of Blind's Tavern. Well, not tavern, but I guess his house, you can call it. Vandalize in the back wall. Get some blueberries. Another big 20. We have some more bombs. We have more wooden sticks. Kind of a Blind's Hut right now. Let's see what's in the final chest. Besides some money under the pots, we have much less money. Just a single green rupee in that last chest. And the bottle vendor gives more wooden sticks. I think we have enough of the arrows. Thank you, bottle vendor, for taking our money for no reason. Solski's in the chicken hut. We're going to find out what is going on in the back of the chicken hut today. What's in that chest back there. And scaring a chicken today gets you 300 rupees. Not a bad investment.
Not a bad investment at all.
And we have in the tavern, another 300 rupees. Well, that puts... that's enough money for Zora, at the very least. So we may see a play there at some point, possibly with the fake flipper.
Enough money for Zora, enough money for that, as well as Palace of Darkness, if we ever want to go over that way. Although we can't really do that just yet, can we? We still need to hammer the flippers.
Yep, we still don't have any access to that side of the world, so unfortunately it will be a little while before we get to the Palace of Darkness area. Looking at the sprite choices today, we have an eggplant for Solski, and I'm not sure what Leyra's sprite is actually called, like a Gumby type thing.
I know what Leyra's is. Leyra is a cactuar from Final Fantasy
VII.
Oh,
cactuar, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was more like a Gumby.
And if you ever see its bunny sprite, it's actually a chocobo.
I like it. Ooh, look at that. That trash is boing. Boingy trash. As the hookshot is found in the race game. Very nice. So Solski has that hookshot in his possession now, and that's going to give him some mobility on Death Mountain if he chooses to sequence break it, which we don't know if he will, because, well, he has to go to the Dark World to do that, first of all. And the room is dark, and we don't have a lantern. Notice the hollowed out grove here. A quick comment on that. That is normally where the lamp right now, the lamp is inside this cave. That cave is called Cave 45. Now, you may think, well, Cave 45 is a mountainous area. Why does it look like this with a VT in the middle? I wonder what that stands for. The reason is because in inverted mode, there's no way for you to get to that cave. So basically, it's now a nice little grove in the middle of south of the grove. That was also the home of the lamp, and I was just saying that Solski could sequence break Death Mountain. Now Death Mountain is entirely within logic.
Alright, looks like Solski's going to check the South Shore here.
Yep, he's flooded the dam, and let's see what's in the moat. Ooh, some goo. He might pick that up. Yep, he's picking that up.
Yeah, potions are always worth it, even though, like we said earlier, red potions only heal for 7 hearts, and green only heals you to half of your magic meter, not your full meter.
And before we continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to Batman was, well, I'm not going to say the whole name, but a new subscriber with Twitch Prime. And thank you for the subscription. Speed Gaming does appreciate that.
Yeah, now we're seeing what Mini Moldering Cave has for us. And we got a piece of heart. The flippers, not bad. 20 rupees.
Yeah, the rest was blueberries. So flippers is definitely a good pickup. That's going to let them go swimming, first of all, which he does immediately, tries those out. And looks like he's going to the island. Now, this is another change. The island, you can just climb right up today. He's not going to waste his time with 20 bucks there, though, because he already has, 662 rupees in his possession. So that's a lot of money already compared to the 20 rupees that are sitting there. We are going to go straight to the gentleman under the bridge who gives away his last possession to Solski. Something froze for me for a moment there, and I didn't get to see what the item under the bridge was, so hopefully Chad is able to help us out with that.
Yeah. It looks like we might be back into St. Curious. I see the Chicken House, and we get the item there. 300 rupees.
I'm told it was bombs under the bridge, and no, we're not. And the question in chat, are we not allowed to say hobo anymore? No, I just don't use that term myself as often as other people might, so I like to refer to him as just an unfortunate gentleman under the bridge. So Solski is on his way to Ice Rod Cave. Ley was checking the library. I don't think we had anything of value in there, if I remember correctly. Just going to verify it was a big 20, it looks like. Leyra's going to see the hook shot and go straight up for that. No question, that's going to be a quick pickup. So looking at the items they have now, starts to bring into question what they can do as Solski's on his way to Zora. We're going to get to see what's in the Zora area today with full access to Waterfall Cave and the Zora Ledge, not to mention the money for Zora himself. We have a bow, we have the flippers, obviously, we have the Titan's Mitt, we have the Moon Pearl, we have the hook shot, we have the lamp. That's already a lot of things that are opening up here. We have access to, actually full access, I believe, except we don't have the mirror. So I don't think we can go to Swamp Palace yet, but I know that we do have access to, let me think here. Palace of Darkness is still not available. They could do some things in the Light World. Eastern Palace is always available in the Light World. And they can finish Eastern Palace because they have the bow. The desert, I do not believe, is accessible yet. Tower of Hera is fully accessible. No, he isn't. He doesn't have the mirror. So Eastern Palace to me sounds like good play. What do you think, Wolflink?
I'd say Eastern's a pretty good play, yeah.
And of course, they can finish Thieves Town at any point as well, but I don't think a lot of people like doing 4-heart blind.
Well, that's not that helpful, but we did find the magic powder there in the Zora.
Ooh, magic powder. That does open up Magic Bat as a location. I have a feeling that that could be visited later, too. Leyra forgot to open the chest with the hookshot tricks and have to make another trip in to get that chest. And Solski sees that Bombos up there. I'm not sure if it was him or Leyra that first saw the Bombos, but Solski is going to go get the old man. So as you can see, just like Link's house, this cave is in the Dark World, as Wolflink alluded to earlier. We're going to get the old man here. We're going to pop out the other side. And Leyra gets the 20 rupees out of the dam. Already got the goo from the water. Solski works his way through the bats. Leyra goes down to check out Mini Moldorm Cave. And I didn't refer to it earlier, but why is it called Mini Moldorm Cave? You saw it. There are 4 Mini Moldorms in that cave. So you're going to see them on Leyra's side as well.
Yeah.
And Solski's taken the long way around the mountain. Normally by now you've dropped him off at his house, but even though the caves have been swapped, his house is still right where you remember it being in the light world. So you're still going to have to go to the light world and drop him off at his normal house. Now, the question that I always ask when I see the old man wandering around, he's in the dark world. He transfers to the light world as Leyra gets the flippers. So as he transfers to the light world, there's no bunny beam. Clearly, he has a moon pearl of his own.
Or maybe he's the reflection. Isn't the dark world's whole theme is a reflection of the heart? Maybe he's just in that Zen state in which he knows what's in his heart.
That's actually kind of funny. So he does his mountain climbing and gets into his cave magically. Solski returns up the mountain, and let's see what he does from here. Leyra is going over to Ice Rod Cave as well. Solski's going to... Solski's going to check Spectacle Rock first. And let's see... Nope, not even looking at the item on top of Spectacle Rock, because we're going to get that later, because it's a smoothed out area up there as well. Another change because of the inverted physics.
Yeah.
And Leyra gets the $5 there.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no mirror for Leyra at the time, because there's actually a hint right there that Leyra could get, but it's kind of inconvenient to get to. Meanwhile, there's also a hint for Solski. What does it say?
Some arrows require a bomb.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay. Oh, and apparently it was a red potion on Spectral Rock. It was already on screen earlier. I just didn't catch it on Solski's side.
Yeah, it was hard enough for me to catch it.
So Solski is now working his way through Dark Death Mountain. And skips over the portal, climbs the stairs. This is where Aghanim's Tower is located. You notice it's still flashing like it's Ganon's Tower, and it's not open yet, but it's open. It's Aghanim's Tower.
Yep.
And if you did require it for Light World access, well, there's where it would be.
Yep. And something to note is that if it was swordless, or only in swordless rather, the curtain's already cut for you as a nice gesture. But we don't exactly have a weapon to reflect the blue balls back. Not that we would, because it is not defeat. It is defeat Ganon rather, not defeat all the dungeons.
There can't until we see where it is required, though, as we check into what is normally called Super Bunny Cave. Of course, in this mode, with silver arrows, by the way, are in Super Bunny Cave today. Normally in this mode, you would not be a bunny here ever, so we still call it Super Bunny Cave because that's what it's known as.
Well, it's called that way because this is the only time you can check without the mirror
Exactly.
or the moon pearl rather, in the Dark World.
Exactly. And Solski did check Zora. I actually forgot what was on Zora today, so Leyra's going to get that right now, so we're going to get another look at that right now. The ledge, by the way, only had a piece of heart.
Yeah. And we're about to see what Hookshot Cave here is. Hopefully... the
Full heart container.
Yeah, there's a heart container there. Or a heart piece, rather. There's the heart container.
Ooh, we got a nice rod.
And... yeah, I'm seeing it right there. Wow. I must be behind by a couple of things, then.
And it was powder on Zora, so yeah, Solski does have the powder already.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I mentioned that. I'm dumb.
Yeah, no worries.
And Solski's going to take this portal that's normally in the light world here, but we've changed it around. And it's going to use it to explore Paradox and Spiral Cave. So many caves. It's hard to keep track on them all.
So Leyra's going to get his trip through the Old Man Cave, and I didn't catch those first 2 items in Paradox Cave, but we are seeing Piece of Heart, a full heart container. There's the mirror. And in the top half, we have 5 rupees and the blue mail. That's an interesting top half of Paradox Cave.
Yeah, it is.
So the mirror does open up Tower of Hera fully by the logic, so Tower of Hera is now accessible with the mirror. Let's see what Leyra is doing on Dark Death Mountain with the old man, of course. Solski is now coming out of Paradox Cave. And he emerges somehow on top of the mountain, which is why we call it Paradox Cave. Notice the bridge there. That leads to the island. That island would normally not be accessible because, well, inverted physics. So there's a bridge there, but there's only 5 rupees up there, so we're not going to worry about that today.
Yeah. Basically, any sort of the mirror lock locations like Mimic Cave, Salfa Grove, as you saw earlier, or Checkerboard, we've basically made it so those are accessible in the light world.
And that's exactly why I see Solski in the back of Turtle Rock now, even though we haven't really accessed Turtle Rock yet. It also serves as a good way to take a Death Warp and refill your health. So he's going to go and get the chest while he's back here as well. Leyra is now climbing Light Death Mountain and is going to, again, probably saw the red goo on top of Spectacle Rock already. Going to go in and get the hint about some bombs. Thank you for the useful hint about some, arrows locked by bombs. Thank you for the useful hint about arrows locked by bombs. Actually, no, it's not going into that cave. I'm surprised by that. Did Leyra already check that hint and I didn't see it?
I don't know if Leyra saw the hint.
I don't think Leyra did. Seems too quick to have seen the hint. But Solski goes back to his house and emerges in Dark World again. And yep, with the mirror, he's going to play Swamp. Swamp Palace is also available to him, so that seems to be the play he wants to make at this time. And he has a hammer. I didn't see where the hammer was.
I don't know either. I haven't been able to see a lot of stuff of this time.
Oh, it was in Paradox Cave. It was one of the 2 chests I didn't see in Paradox Cave. That explains it. I saw the top half of Paradox Cave and I missed the bottom half. So we're now in the back of Escape, which at 28 minutes, you don't usually see it this late, but inverted. 20 rupees in Uncle's chest, as we can refer to it. And we're going to find out what our poor old uncle has at the back. Usually has something to help his son out, like 20 rupees. I should say his nephew, not his son.
Yeah, I mean, that is called the Uncle Check, after all.
Yep.
Actually, I want to say that's one of the only times Lynx has had direct family mention outside of, or at least present in game. I'm not sure if. Oh, I forget if the Smith in Minish Cap had that. Was related to him.
I'm not sure, but Zelda lore aside, Leyra is checking Paradox Cave, Super Bunny Cave rather, and getting the silver arrows out of there. And Solski is checking out Hyrule Castle and pounding guards with hammers because their mail is absolutely weak.
All right, I forgot about Wind Waker. That's right. And it looks like we are going to see an escape dive from Solski. Not a bad idea, considering that there could be progression down here.
And Leyra does the check of Turtle Rock and says, okay, see you later. We know where that bombos is, we just can't get it yet. At the at the top of what is normally called Bumper Cave. And Leyra's going to get the ice rod out of Hookshot Cave. And Solski's on his way to the basement. Normally, there's a princess in a cell down here. This is even inverted mode. Basically, it's the same mechanic as open mode down here. There is no princess in a cell down here. It's just a chest behind a locked door that a guard is trying to keep you from getting. And unfortunately, he is, well, not good. So he gives up the 20 rupees inside. And Leira is checking out Tower of Hera. I think this is the first time we've seen this today.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's one of the thing is, Turtle Rock's not that bad of a dungeon in Inverted, but I say Hera's kind of taking Turtle Rock's place as the dungeon at the end of the mountain. Because it's really hard to get to, actually. You need the hammer, you need the hook shot.
Yeah, you can't mirror to it like in the normal game, I believe. Some arrows held by the Kakariko village elder. Well, we're not going to be worried about the green pendant today.
Yeah, and it's a good thing we actually had that hookshot too. That could actually have trolled our runners a fair bit. And we got a blue potion in the Dark Crossroads. And yeah, I'm not denying that Hera has value either. I mean, it's 2 items, 2 hint tiles. It's just really out of the way. And for a pendant dungeon, it may not be worth your time, but who knows? Maybe the information will be.
And it's worth checking the 2 items and knowing this a pendant. You can either, because we don't know what's on the pedestal yet, obviously, so you can either take the chance and hope that there's something possibly there and you're getting the advantage. Is that the same hint as downstairs?
Yes. Yes.
We have identical hints in two of the hint tiles in Tower of Hera, ladies and gentlemen. The game really wants us to know that there are arrows with the Kakariko village elder. It really wants us to pick up the arrows that we require from the Kakariko village elder.
I know you said arrows, but you said as errors.
I said errors by accident, yeah.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I would be okay with errors as well.
I was not expecting that. That was very unusual. So Leira is coming up to the Moldorm fight right now. Is going to take out Moldorm, see if there's an item on here. Yeah, I was not counting items because I was too distracted by that hint and laughing at it. So we may have an item in the basement Leira might need to go to as well. Let's see what Moldorm drops in. Yeah, so I keep hanging off there.
Yeah, it's all right. We have a key. We have the key here. So whatever items on Moldorm, but it's just vanilla. Interesting. Why is Solski an eggplant? Why not? There's a whole bunch of sprites.
Because it's fun to wander around as a vegetable that, well, a tasteless vegetable.
He probably wants Waluigi to be available at some point. He probably plays that instead.
Everyone wants Waluigi. Well, not me, but I'm not everyone. So Solski is making the trip through Bumper Cave. I don't blame him. We need that Bombos for Turtle Rock. He wants that Bombos. So he's going to find his way across the gap here by lifting a pot, not the conventional hookshot method. And turn the cape, put the cape on, walk through the bumper, Doesn't take advantage of the extra bounce to get to the end quicker. And is going to hit the mirror and is going to pick up a medallion. So I haven't really talked about the medallions yet. Those medallions that you see, we know of Bombos and Quake, but in the middle of those is a third one called Ether. So those medallions do open those 2 dungeons. In this case, we know that Turtle Rock is opened by the Bombos medallion. In the vanilla game, it's opened by the Ether medallion. So logically, any of those 3 medallions can open either of those dungeons.
I hate to cut you off, but it's actually Quake that opens up Turtle Rock. Ether opens up Misery Mire, and we don't know the medallion for that yet. So.
Oh, my mistake. I'm getting my vanilla game wrong. Tells you how often I play the vanilla game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I played it a few times. I kind of have everything memorized about it.
I wonder why I did that.
You've been doing too much randomizer. Maybe you decided to take a break and do some NMG.
I've been doing too much randomizer. I always thought it was Bombos and Ether. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh, there's a mushroom item. This is the first time. It was only money.
I think of the tablets. Bombos and ether for the tablets.
Yeah. And yeah, no Aga one today, unfortunately.
Wow.
I've seen Leyra checking laser bridge here with the cape in hand. I think for this room, the cape does not drain half magic, or double your magic rather.
Sorry, what was that?
I think for this room and any other room that has a chance to get tagged by traps, the cape and cane work as normal.
I think it's only Spike Cave that does that. There's no half magic either, so it's just Spike Cave that does that normal magic behavior. Any other room, I think, every other room behaves. There's another sword location, by the way.
Yeah, but no, it does work in the one room with the BMOs and the spikes in Misery Mire. Because there's no way to get that chest without walking on the spikes.
I see, okay. So Solski is making his way back through Thieves Town. I think he's plans to got hit by the fire bar. And he plans to finish it at this time. Leyra is checking out Mimic Cave. I don't know if we've seen Solski check this yet, have we?
No, I don't think we have seen Mimic Cave. I think that went under Solski's radar.
And just 5 rupees in there, so thankfully not a big loss.
Oh, geez, I just realized something. We could go to Scope. There could be progression in Swamp.
There could be. It's been open for a little while now.
Yeah.
I know that they can go there, and I thought Solski was going there at one point, but he was actually going somewhere else at that time.
Yeah, Swamp, though, is not necessarily required, but I don't know. There was a race earlier in which Swamp was the main factor, having 3 progression items.
Yeah, I've seen Lamp and Bombos in one Swamp play, and that was an important Swamp, needless to say. So it can happen that Swamp has the progression, and it can happen way too often.
Yeah, I think in that one race it was Fire Rod right at the start, then some Mari in the big chest, and then on the left side was Hook Shot, and there was a required dungeon.
Ugh, yuck. So Solski gets the Maiden, not the Maiden.
Yeah, this is of course his blind himself disguised. And hey, there's the Chocobo. Look at the little Chocobo.
Okay, Solski gets blind to the window. Lazy worm. I didn't catch that entire hint because I was having a hard time reading a couple of the words, but lazy worms and something about dragon feet, I believe it was. Ooh, blind drops down for one more hit. Hammer blind is never fun, but Solski shows no problem with it and takes out blind and collects blind's lunch. Leyra is now working backwards through the choppy room. Notice that Leyra came out a locked door. So, going to see if there's a key in here to get to the front. We can't do the fire rod side of Turtle Rock, but we're going to see if we can get to the front of the dungeon and get something out of that chest up there. There's that key. So, yep, we're going somewhere. Or... Oh, yeah, Leyra does have the Canis Marius. We can't go down there at all. I'm going to keep that key.
Yeah, we don't even know where that Canis Marius is. As we see Sick Kid here, only 5 rupees.
That's a very low allowance for the Sick Kid. I'm unfortunate.
Yeah, all of that life savings just to see a bottle.
And Solski is checking. What is he checking? He already did race game. Or is he doing digging game now, possibly? And we know that there's a red boomerang in this digging game today, so he won't he'll possibly collect that, but we'll see what Leyra does now, as Leyra is in the light world. And I think he's making the Eastern play. Yep, Leyra is heading in that general direction. Is crossing the bridge. I'm going to say Leyra is definitely going to Eastern Palace. So we're going to get our first look, probably a detour to Sahasrara's house, and we're going to find out what is in the back den of Sahasrara today. Solski picks up the dwarf and is going to take the dwarf home to the light world. In the back of Sahasrara's closet, we have a piece of heart, 20 rupees, and the book. Now, the book does open a couple of tablets, which are available for inspection at this time, and I believe they can be collected in the hard mode with the hammer, if I'm not mistaken, because we don't have the sword available to do that.
Yes, but more importantly than that, Desert is a crystal, and the only way to access Desert and invert it is with the book, so that is a huge find.
That is huge. 5 rupees on Batman, so that won't be where we find any progression today.
Yeah, we're about to see what Pod has here as Kiki the Monkey is turned in.
$110 out of your wallet, and you get to access 6 unique items. Well, not all unique. Some could be bombs and things like that, but 6 items in the item pool in Palace of Darkness. As the first mini Helmetsars take 5?
5. 6. The only dungeon that have 6 unique items
6
is
keys. 6 keys, my mistake. 6 keys and 5 items. I'm getting my numbers backwards today. I play too much of the oh well.
5 rupees.
Cane of Burna on the dwarves today. So they manufacture.
They manufacture something that you cannot use for invincibility, only for damage. And
pretty much.
We only had a rupee at the start of Palace of Darkness, which means we have to go to the Bulldog side.
But fortunately, we have the bow, and the boots is in the Palace of Darkness. Well, it's convenient that we're in the Palace of Darkness. We're picking up boots while we're here.
Actually, wait a minute. I just realized something. We're Fire Rod away from Go mode. Oh, and Kane. I almost forgot about that. We could have a situation in which it's just Quake for Misery Mario and we're in Go mode.
Very interesting.
We, of course, still need the Fire Rod and the Cane, like I said, but unless it's Ether for Misery Mire, yeah, we have everything we need.
They're actually doing really okay on the health, too, today. Look at Leyra's health meter. 9 hearts on that meter.
Yeah, and there's also the fact we could have Bombos available. We know where Bombos is on Bumper Cave Ledge. It just, Solski's already picked it up. We don't know where Ether is. We don't know where Fire on a Samari are. But it could be here in Pod. It could be in Swamp. It could be on this purple chest that Solski's turning in now.
Yeah, purple chest could definitely be the key. And it's possible that Ether could be the medallion to open Misery Mire as well. If that is the case, we need to find that Ether medallion too. 5 rupees in Gary's lunchbox today. Not much of a lunch.
Yeah, not much of an item here.
And Solski's the first to get to Agony today. So what does Agony have in the hole that we're going to blow up to the south? We love vandalizing property in this game. Interesting little tidbit about this game is we get $50 for blowing up a hole. And Leyra throws a bomb across to save a little bit of time on the trip through the dark maze. We have a big key in this room. I don't think we've seen the boots yet, so the boots may be in this hallway down here.
Yeah, the boots may also be required, I just realized, because we have a torch, speaking on torch in Desert.
Okay. So the boots could be down here, or they could be in dark maze. Pretty much those or the boss at this point, I believe, or the big chest, which we can now open as well.
Or it could be elsewhere.
No, we know it's in Palace of Darkness because we got a hint for that.
No, I didn't see it.
Unless I misread the hint, but we'll find out in a minute here. There's, The Mire shed didn't give very much in terms of aggression today, just some money.
And it looks like it is Ether for Misery Mire, so we do need to find that as well as the Fire Run in the King of Samaria.
So close. Another item. There's a fire shield.
Yeah, fire shield. That is the strongest shield you're going to get in hard mode.
And see, there's the boots. Boots in the big chest of Palace of Darkness, and we're on our way to see the king. You know, Helmistar King.
Yep.
We're going to be rushing back there.
And you can see this little tile here on Solski's end. Probably not anymore. But that tile is what you use to use bombos in the dungeons, and we do allow that so that Heist Palace is available in a situation like this in which the fire might be deeper in. You only see them in the dungeon rooms that you absolutely need the use of a fire attack in, though. So the 2 freezer rooms and cold stairs room itself.
And the reason for that is because normally you cannot use a medallion unless you have a sword, and that is maintained in general throughout the swordless mode as well, except for cases like where you have to open a dungeon, or where you have to blow up a tablet, or pray the gods in front of a tablet, things like that. So this is a case where normally you would be able to use bombos as a method of entry if you had a sword. Of course, you don't have a sword, and it's kind of hard to get in there unless you can use fire on the freezers. So this is a rare exception where bombos is allowed, where one of the medallions is allowed outside of the tablets or opening a dungeon. Solski gets into the second level flawlessly, I guess you could say, and is going to now blow up a pair of Stalfos. Beautifully done. And check the hint tile. Quake is in the Dark Village. Thanks, game! We started there.
Yeah, that is not helpful at all. Well, it would be if we came here first, but I think we need... The slivers were in the Kakariko anyway, so it doesn't really... No! They were in Mini Moldorf, so it doesn't really matter.
The silver, you said? Anyway, Leyra is taking on the Helmistar King, and with those silver arrows from we're going to missing the
Can't
shot.
use them.
Oh yeah, they don't
Can't
work.
use them.
I keep forgetting hard mode. It's so easy to forget that you're in hard mode, isn't it?
I don't. I actually did a hard mode the other day.
Anyway, the arrows were used regardless, and in some fashion, and did take out the Helmistar King. We just got a compass and a crystal. One is more valuable than the other at this game.
Yeah, the crystal, obviously. Because that is one of our 5/6. The other one, of course, is in desert, and actually, Leyra has the full ability to full clear, so 5/6 inbound.
Yeah, Leyra can full clear desert. Is that where we're going to go? We're going to find out in a moment. As we now emerge in Link's house, re-emerge in the Dark World. And heading down, it's looking possible. Either that or Swamp. Leyra can do both locations.
Yeah, I would say that it's the... I think it would be desert first, then Mire, and then Swamp.
Using the portal, definitely go into desert first. Gonna hammer out of there and make a way. Nope, maybe not. What are you doing, Leyra? Oh, not doing either. Okay, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Oh, checking out the Hyrule Castle area. Maybe Leyra hasn't done this yet. That would be why.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing Leyra in Hyrule Castle. That makes sense.
And Solski gets a piece of heart from the H room, as I don't know if that's what it's called. I just call it that because it's an H.
Oh no!
And there's the big key. What?
You know what? We have Eastern. We have everything we need for Eastern. We have everything we need for Desert. We have everything we need for Swamp. We could have a Fire Rod at Pedestal. We could also have some Mario. We could have our Ether. The Ped Seed is alive and well. I just now noticed that.
I think you just made chat very happy.
I'm sure they noticed it too.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, but I'm sure you're confirming it made them very happy. Very, very happy. So Leyra is working the way through Hyrule Castle now. Solski is in the Freezer room, which you already got this chest earlier. We're going to drop down and attempt to get the big chest now at this point. Get Spin back there, and we are finding a piece of heart for the effort. Dropping down basement 6, we're one floor away from Cold Stare, who lives alone on basement 7. And nope, Solski is going back upstairs.
Yeah,
coming out through the locked door.
Probably heading to IC room.
Yep.
And what's interesting is if Colster has a small key, which is looking like it's very likely, this dungeon is locked by Samaria by default, so we know it'll be somewhere before some Ice Palace. Which means it's a pretty fair odds that it's either beyond desert or it's in desert.
We have a shovel for Solski in the iced tea room.
Or just right there and you're forced to double tip. Let's hope that's not the case.
Okay, now we're taking a trip down to visit Cold Stare. And we're going to lift the couple pods. We're going to make some space to maneuver through here. And we're going to notice when we get down to Cold Stare's room that there is another of those lovely bobble tiles on the floor because, you know, we need to crack the shell somehow. So why not? And Solski runs right over to it and activates it. And the shell, well, melts. And the eyes separated very quickly, unfortunately, so it's going to be a little bit of a harder fight for Solski today. Yeah. Weakening the eyes is going to... took a hit from the ice. Took a hug from one of the eyes. That had to hurt. Uses the goo, and is going to keep pounding.
Yeah, I don't blame for healing here, and look at what Solski's doing. Solski's staying at the top of the room. That prevents the ice cubes from splitting, which makes this fight a little bit more manageable.
Takes a death to Cold Stare. Let's hope that... well, he's going to have to come back and fight later because it is a crystal. Save and continue. He is going to go back in and give it another try.
Ooh, that's not good.
Not good at all. And apparently tried to activate the Bobbles Medallion a little too early. The freezer had not emerged from its hole yet and had to use a second attempt to try and take it out. That's going to take a little bit of magic away.
Yeah, and we see Leyra's coming out of the sanctuary here. Getting their item, their last item.
Didn't actually open the chest, so I guess it must have had a map or something like that in it.
I believe you do have to stand the Bombos Tile and Swordless, yes.
Okay, so we do have a bottle in the Bonk Rock location, that was. And what is Leyra going to do now? As Solski continues making his way down to Cold Stare again, I think Leyra is checking the Lumberjack. Or doing Bumper Cave. No. Yeah, I guess it is Bumper Cave.
Yeah, and that was the fourth bottle there for Leyra, if I did it checks right.
Yeah, we have 4 marked on the tracker, so it looks like Leyra did find all 4 bottles today. So Leyra's going to get the bottles, and we're going to... Let's see. Wonder if Leyra will route in Troll Rock right now. I don't think we'll route it in yet, but just we'll have it so it doesn't have to come back here later.
All right, with Bombos in hand, what is Leyra's next play?
Lumberjack.
Makes sense. Get the information.
Solski gets the fairy. The fairies still do heal to some extent. But Leyra finds the 20 rupees on the lumberjack, which we know it was already there. So we won't be visiting that. Solski finds hook shots into the stairs, clips through, and is down on the 4th floor, still working the way down to the 5th floor to Cold Stair. They were checking the last ones. I don't know if Solski saw this already, but if not, I didn't see it. Didn't pick up
It was
wherever it
just
was in
money
the... Money in both
it was
locations? Okay.
Yeah. Or at least in the mushroom spot. I'm not sure about the drop down.
It's a piece of heart. We just caught that on here now. Okay. Cold Stair, take 2. Fight! And Bombos is utilized. And let's see if he has better luck with the eyes getting him in the corner this time.
Someone is asking in chat, so is there anywhere this quick can be used? Unfortunately not, no. And there's no real requirement for medallions. And a 10 or 2 for Solski.
I'm keeping an eye on the Solski fight here because I want to see if he can get through this. He's trying to take the hits from the ice pellets, not from the boss itself, which is very smart because it's 3 times the damage from the boss itself. It takes a hit from the boss, this is dangerous, but gets both eyes out. And what does Cold Stair drop today? Cold Stair drops a key. A frustration pound before the crystal falls onto him, and he holds it up. Delighted to have a crystal in his hand, as Leyra gets $5 from Batman as well. Solski already
Actually, hold on. That's important information for Solski. Because now he knows that he knows that was intended at King of Samaria, so he knows that if he's had access to Swamp or Ice, he's had access to King of Samaria at some point. This is not meant to be done this early.
Interesting.
So the question now is, where does he go for King of Samaria? Because...
what is left has not been done. Eastern Palace. Yeah, and that's exactly where he's going.
Yeah.
Sahasrar's closet. We didn't see anything back here, if I remember correctly. I saw a piece of hearts, some money. And I think actually the book was back here. That gives desert access. So that's where the book was located. There it is right there. And Solski is probably going to go into Eastern Palace now, but may detour over to desert first. I would just finish Eastern while I'm over here. Leyra did not do this and did Palace of Darkness instead.
Yeah, it's a shame that there wasn't anything important on the Cold Stair, because that just means there was nothing of importance.
Solski is trying to get the monkey as well to find Kiki in the maze, but I actually think I would put a portal somewhere closer to the end and then pull Kiki out of the maze over there. And then maybe it's slower, I don't know, but at least you see where the portal is then.
Well, here's the thing. Your iframes after leaving a portal actually prevent you from grabbing Kiki, so Solski just left a little too soon. That's basically what I'm getting at. It happens sometimes. I've noticed it, so you just have to delay yourself like maybe a half a second.
I didn't catch what the witch had in her hut today. So Leyra did drop the mushroom off because Leyra already has the powder as well, so no need to use it for Magic Bat because we already saw Magic Bat as well. Warps down to the swamp area. This is an interesting choice.
Yeah. This is looking like it's going to be a desert play.
Nope, it's desert. Yep, you're right.
And it looks like it was only 20 rupees for that mushroom. Not a lot for that.
You mean 20? I don't think we have a 200 item.
Yeah, 20. Chat saying big 20.
Yep, I see that.
And we're going to see what Bombos is first.
Bombs, ironically enough.
Just some leftover explosions. It's fine, right?
And Leyra's going to get the Agena check-in. Nothing interesting, just $50 I remember was down here. Solski is working through Piles of Darkness. I didn't notice if Solski picked up a hint, but if he did, he knows that the boots are in here now and is going to be working his way around to find those.
Yeah. So this is Mire check. This is most likely going to be Leyra going to desert getting the 5-6 because I think at this point our prediction is either on the 5-6 or it's in desert or it's in swamp. It's one of the three.
I still think it's Eastern Palace.
I mean, it could be better so far. We could all be right.
Who knows? So Leyra is going to make the desert play. This is new information for us. I don't think we've seen Solski in here yet. Chad asked what we were looking for. We're looking for a couple things here. We need to find Ether Medallion. We need to find the Fire Rod. I don't...
We also need to
find the
Cane
Samaria. Cane Samaria. I was just thinking Cane Samaria as well. I don't think the flute is needed, but it'd be nice for transportation purposes. And that's pretty much it at this point.
Yeah, we do not need the flute because of the Light World, Dark World.
Exactly.
The mirror. We can just mirror straight from desert into Mire.
That's just for transportation purposes, I was noting, is what that would be for.
Yeah, it would only be helpful for transportation. But the thing is, it's transportation in the Dark World, not the Light World.
Yep.
You still have to activate in the Light World, which makes even less sense.
If they choose to. They may not. And as you said, it's got diminished value in Verd because you don't need it to warp to Misery Mire. There's a Cane Samaria. It was in Desert.
Alright, so... They expect you to go to Desert first, then to go to Ice. At least in terms of what the logic wanted.
Yep.
Of course, for all we know, we could have saved Ice for last. But that's not exactly ideal when you have Turtle Rock up there on the mountain. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Oh, no, no worries. You were finishing your thought. Yeah, Turtle Rock usually would be the last dungeon you would see to defeat Ganseed, and that's because, well, it's near where where Ganon supposedly lives. Aghanim 2 obviously lives up there. And that's why Turtle Rock is usually the one done last. So even though they're able to get the Bombos Medallion early, they're going to avoid Turtle Rock as long as possible because they want to find the progression somewhere else and save that for last.
Yeah, in this case, it's more likely than not that Ice should have been the last play, I feel. Because Ice is actually the closest dungeon to our Light World version of Ganon Tower.
Inverted though, that's correct.
Yeah, which is Pyro Castle Aga 1, because we flip-flopped them, basically. So
and this is an example of what playing inverted physics basically messing people up. These are easy things to forget. Turtle Rock is normally the last dungeon, but you're right. Ice Palace being the last dungeon would make more sense in inverted mode because it's really close to where the Hyrule Castle is located.
Yeah. Swamp is actually, I would say, not even easier play because you have to mirror in and then you mirror back. When you leave, you mirror back out and then you're back in the Light World.
So Leyra pulls out the fire source, lights the torches, gets hit by an Igor, and the wall begins to move. And we have sync wall moving towards each other. Get your wall sync hype in chat, ladies and gentlemen. So Leyra starts the Moldorm, or not Moldorm, the Landmolus fight. 3 snakes coming out of the ground, has to kill all 3 of them. Solski is now in the basement of Palace of Darkness and is working his way in the dark. Leyra is on cycle 2. Go ahead.
Interesting use of the Ice Rod there. The Ice Rod does the same amount of damage as the Fire Rod, even. In 2 shots each. It's just a little bit of a slower projectile, is all. And ironically enough,
Ooh.
if you play just vanilla casually, you are able to get the ice rod before you go to desert.
That is true.
So if you're having trouble with land moles, just go grab that. It'll be a little bit tricky to hit the shots, but it'll make the fight a little bit easier on you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is available. You just have to have a bomb to get in there, and that's all you need. You're in the cave to get the ice rod, so you can have that anytime, and you can pretty much from the very start of the game go to Eastern Palace and use it to freeze enemies as much as you want to.
Yeah, even Sir Hospital, after you get the boots in vanilla, he tells you about that that ice rod being there.
Solski takes out Homosar King and is going to get his crystal from this dungeon. That is, again, a 5/6 crystal. Meanwhile, Leyra has the 2 5/6 crystals, and I wonder if we're going to see a play on Pyramid Fairy. Did start at Link's house. Might just go to Swamp. That is possible, but maybe save Swamp for last as well.
I'd say it's either Pyramid Fairy or it's Turtle Rock of all things, because that's the only other thing that our Case Mario unlocks right now. Because we don't have access to Mystery Mire, and yeah,
based on where Leyra went. Yeah, sorry, based on where Leyra went, I'm going to say it's Pyramid Fairy because they're going back towards the house. This is normally Link's house. Knock on the door, say hi, and oh hey, bomb shop vendor.
Yeah, but this is smart for Leyra because if the Fire Rod's here, then Leyra can full clear Turtle Rock at Pyramid Fairy. If it's not,
right.
Well, we can go to Turtle Rock and at least look around for maybe the Fire Rod or Ether to get into Misery Mire. But that rod is locking quite a bit of the game, actually, right now.
Leyra also is not cleared Thieves Town, so as far as Leyra is concerned, it could possibly still be in Thieves Town as well. And Misery Mire is still sitting there as well, but we need the Ether Valley to get in there, so that's not an option yet, nor is Skull Woods, because we need the Fire Rod to get back there as well. And
just
go ahead.
Just as a reminder to everyone.
Hey! Fire Rod in the Pyramid Fairy. My favorite location in the game. Delivers again.
Good call there. Now Leyra can clear Turtle Rock even.
That's right.
So that's probably where Ether is. So there we go. And I was saying earlier that this was Solski's pick as a reminder. And this is their game 1, so next time these two face out will be Leyra, and the third one game will be decided by a bot, a third party, and they will get the choice to veto a specific option off of the bot's generate item, or the bot's pool of selections. And Leyra's gonna take that Fire Rod and go straight to ice. Seems good to me.
Leyra did take the hint regarding the purple chest, the chest that requires a specialist to unlock. Don't think it had anything in it, if I remember correctly. Just money, $5.
Yeah, it's a very small amount of money.
Yeah, and case of thanks game. There's Solski's King of Samaria. Now, I have to wonder if Solski feels behind at this point, because it took him a while to go over to Sahasrar's Closet to get the book, and then the desert to get the King of Samaria. So you have to wonder if he feels like he's behind right now. And some cash is in plain sight. Thank you very much for that very useful hint.
Yeah, our Ether Medallion could really be anywhere except for Misery Mire and GT. It's going to be an elusive one.
And Leyra gets the hint about Quake in the Dark Village, which obviously we know that too. I'm actually wondering. I actually would like to see an Ether hint or something along those lines, just to see what information we can get related to that.
Well, if we get Ethers in the Lost Woods, then we absolutely know it's pedestal, because we've checked everything else in the Lost Woods.
Of course. Lost Woods hint would be a really good hint right now.
And actually, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for Leyra to go to the pedestal and check it. Because after checking the pedestal, could mirror and go defeat Mothula.
Yeah, it's going to be routed in with Mothula if it happens at all. Both runners are able to do that. Neither can pull it yet, but both runners are able to check it if they want to route in. But they will, as you said, Leyra will go to fight Mothula and then may check the pedestal while there.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do here in the meantime. So, about to see Solski fight Lamolas, and Leyra is heading on down to fight Cold Stare after searching the rest of ice. So, where do you think our ether is, Cyclone? I want a legit answer.
No one has been checking Eastern Palace. I honestly think it's an Eastern Palace.
Eastern?
I'll stick with that.
But what?
I think you cut out there. Sorry.
Did you say clip that or something?
No, I think you cut out there.
Well, whatever.
Where do you think the Ether Medallion was going to be? I didn't know if you said that or not.
I think it's actually going to be... I would think it's actually going to be on Trinex.
That would be very, very dastardly and evil.
No. If I wanted to go evil, I would say pedestal.
Okay, yeah, that would be evil.
No, Trinex is the required boss, and we have to kill him anyway. And we have the means to do so, so why not?
Yep, we can defeat Trinex. It's totally clearable, so it would be a logical location for it. I just have a hunch.
You have a hunch, and I have a gut feeling.
Exactly. And Solski lifts the rock with Herculean strength and heads up towards... He has his 5-6 crystals. He's going to do the big bomb. He's going to get... No, he's doing the mirror check first. No, the shovel check, not mirror check. The shovel check. Make it... Yeah. I don't know if he got Stumpy or not. We're getting bombs here, so I don't know if he got Stumpy. He must have because he's leaving. So, yeah, he's going to do the big bomb next, so we're going to get a fire rod.
And he knows... Actually, that should put him in a very solid position here. With Desert cleared... Yeah. That'll put him going
he has ice piles cleared, so yeah.
Yeah, that'll direct him towards Skull Woods and Turtle Rock. Now, here's the thing. Solski is actually dungeon down, and this is a pedestal seed because Leyra did go up and finish Hera, and that's kind of out of the way.
Actually, looking at the tracker, I think Solski has 4 crystals. He actually is a dungeon ahead in terms of an all-dungeon style seed. But yeah, if it turns out to be a pedestal seed, Leyra does have one of those pendant dungeons, Tower Hera, already completed. Solski would have to go back and do all 3 of them, but he is at this point a dungeon ahead regardless.
Yeah, but not for long because Leyra is about to go finish off Cold Stare here.
Correct.
And with the Fire Rod and Balmos, this is going to be a pretty easy fight, I'd say. Well, with the whole Fire Rod doing like Buttersword damage to Cold Stare.
And Leyra stands on the Balmos icon and melts the ice around the Crackle Eye style of Cold Stare. And they emerge, and let's see what luck we have on the hammer hits. Nope. Kind of hard to keep them all in one corner with a hammer. It's easier with the sword because you can direct where you want them to go. So resorts to the Fire Rod strats, using the remaining magic in the Fire Rod. Back to the hammer because don't really have much of a choice. But one eye is down. Solski is working his way up to the Catfish area. That's a very good place to check right now. And second eye, we're down to 4.5 health. Leyra is a lot healthier for this fight. Solski only did this with 7 hearts and took a death. Leyra gets it down in one go. Picks up the key down there and is going to pick up the crystal down there. We now do have, as you noted, Wolfling, a dungeon tie. Yeah.
And really, blind is not that bad. So I think our progression's behind the Moth. It's behind the Fire Rod. It absolutely has to be the Fire Rod at this point. So the question now is it Pedestal?
I just hope either
is
not
it Moth, or is it Trinex?
Big 20. Big 20 from Catfish, sorry, is what I meant to say there. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where that Ether Medallion is, because I think that Ether Medallion would be Go mode at this point.
Yeah, Ether is Go mode. There's no doubt.
Of course.
And it looks like both our runners are thinking the same thing. I think they're both thinking Skull Woods. And the question is, are they going to start in the light world and go from the back to front and check the pedestal at the same time? Or are they going to go through... Oh, it looks like Solsti's going to go to the front.
I know where chat wants it to be. Chat wants it on the pedestal. That's where they want the Quake to be. No question.
Well, there's another sword.
Why didn't you catch that? Where was that?
It was in the digging. It was in the chess game.
Oh, interesting. I thought we saw that one already, though. Didn't Solski get that?
If he did, I missed it. So here's the drawback to what Solski's doing. Solski's going to go through the body of Skull Woods to go to Moth. But because of the inverted logic, this makes it so that Solski is isolating pedestal check with the book. Meanwhile, we're seeing Kane strats against Blind.
Sorry, I didn't have my control key held down there. I apologize. I agree. Would have had to come from the light world to make that a worthwhile play at the pedestal. You can't get to the pedestal from where Solski is, as you noted. So Solski probably will not be checking the pedestal. Probably is convinced that it's nothing important.
Yeah. We'll see if it actually is the case, though. I think Leyra will be able to check it more cleanly because it's just going straight north. You can lift the rock, check it, and be on your way. And it looks like that will be the case.
Looks like she's going to the rock. Leyra's going to the rock. So, ladies and gentlemen, we might be getting a pedestal check here.
Yeah, interesting that Leyra's going this way instead of just lifting the Titan's Mitt block.
I guess you go with what you know in this case. So Leyra walks into the Lost Woods. We're going to make our way north past the thief who resides in this upper area here, I believe. Yep, there he is. Get past him. No, thief, go away. We don't want to talk to you. We're going to check the pedestal. Ladies and gentlemen, get your pedestal hype in the chat. Do we have the Quake Medallion on the pedestal, or do we just have something useless?
Well, Quake Medallion.
Something useless.
Yeah, it wasn't Quake. It was Ether we were needing, but...
I thought I said Ether. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, Ether.
And I did not see what it was.
It was just bombs.
Well, now we know that it's definitely the fire rod then. And it wasn't found by Solski, who just finished up the moth fight pretty cleanly, I might add. So I'm right. It is in Turtle Rock with Trinex.
That was a very quick moth fight. I didn't even see it. He did that so quickly. Wow.
Yeah, fire rod melts Mothfield pretty quickly. And yeah, I keep forgetting, we do have access to Swamp. We've had access to Swamp for a while, and people haven't been avoiding it.
Yeah, we've had it for a while, and I think the reason is because in Solski's case, Solski wants to save that. Well, actually, a Swamp House is a pendant. No, we don't have to save it for last, because it's a pendant. So, yeah, it could be possible there could be something in there. You never know. But Solski is going to hop on the tail of the dragon and climb on top and reveal the head, and we're going to go inside the front half of Turtle Rock. Of course, we already saw the back half of Turtle Rock because, inverted. And now we're going to see what's inside the Bombos lock entrance at the beginning. And there's also a hint tile up here, so we'll see if we can get a hint as to where this Ether Medallion might be. Or we're going to warp to the light world instead, interestingly enough.
I don't think Solski has checked Hera. Or Ether Medallion, for that matter, so probably going to do that real quick.
So Solski made a warp to get a portal on the bottom for after the trip. Oh, Piece of Heart is in Thieves Town. Thanks, game.
Yeah, that's a great hint.
Pretty sure they picked it up already, too.
And yeah, this is definitely Solski setting up Hera. I would agree with that, with what Chad
Yep,
said.
I agree.
And we are seeing a moth getting smashed with a hammer. It's a little big to die in one hit, though, unfortunately.
Leyra uses hammer. It's super effective.
Actually, I think hammer arm is not very effective.
No, I just.
But anyway, there's the crystal.
I mean,
for Leyra. I know. I think it would be not very effective. But anyway, that's the crystal for Leyra.
So we have guesses in chat that the hint tile Misery Mire is going to point towards Ether. Would that not be fun? Single arrow and key in these two chests. So it's not this area.
Let's be real, though. We're never going to read it, though.
Yeah, by the time they get there, they're not going to need it. So,
yeah. Unless it's absolutely in the cutscene chest. Oh, and we have grilled eggplant.
Solski is going to take the long walk through here. And I'm trying to remember if Solski saw Chompy's chest yet. Let's see. Nope, did not see it. So we're going to pick up the key out of here as well. So I think it was Leyra who actually did the back half of Turtle Rock. I don't think Solski did the back half of Turtle Rock. So this is all new, I think, for him.
Yeah, I think we didn't go to the front half here. Although, we don't really need to. We can just go straight to the boss.
We can, yeah, because you have access to it. You have a key. Just go for it. But Solski, remember, Solski's looking for the Ether Medallion. As far as Solski's concerned, it could be in here. Leyra knows it's not back there, but Solski has already been back here. Or no, Solski's not been back here.
Yes, Leyra's done all of Thieves Town except for the top floor and the bottom floor. And the bottom floor, I think. I think both runners have done Laser Bridge, though.
Oh, look at that nice little peach.
Yeah, the eggplant's bunny sprite is a peach. I forgot about that. Turns from a vegetable into a fruit.
Yeah, it's just at heart, it's just a fruit. And Leyra will check the two items and leave. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, it makes no sense to stay. Because I think Leyra went all the way to change that room from the back.
That is correct. And gets dummied onto the platform by a skeleton. Solski, yes, Solski did do Laser Bridge. We do see that now. So Solski did do the back half. When you have a dungeon able to be split like this, it's easy to forget who's done what in that dungeon.
And hey, Tekuru 8, thank you for the 13 months with Twitch Prime.
Very nice. And Solski emerges into the Turtle Rock fight. And it says Turtle Rock fight, the Trinex fight. And let's see how Trinex wants to behave today with Solski. Are we going to get ice on the floor?
I mean, either naive is valid, to be perfectly honest.
That is true, yeah. Solski dodges that head very swiftly. And is now going to pry the second head off of the turtle. And this time gets bitten.
Yeah.
That turtle ice heads haven't given him a hard time here, but finally gets it off. Shell is about to explode, and time to finish it off. Leyra is right behind.
Yeah, it's time to dance with the snake form here. Normally, you would do a spin setup to get a quick kill, but we can't do that, obviously. And even then, it's fairly difficult to nail that spin setup given Trinex's current position.
Okay, is this the Ether Medallion like you said it would be? Let's find out right now. This is not the Ether Medallion.
It's Swamp.
I'm telling you, it's Eastern Palace.
One of us is right.
Yeah, one of us has to be right. It's not Tower Hera. We know that. It can't be in Misery Mire.
I'm going to stick with Swamp because it has twice the items as Eastern. I have better odds there.
Nope. Okay.
It is a perfect 50-50 because we also know that the green pennant doesn't have anything on it except arrows. We got the hint twice in Hera.
Yeah, that hint really wanted to be red.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually gonna double down on what I said. I'm gonna say it's in the big chest of Eastern Palace.
Well, let's see if we're both wrong as the ether's checked.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of overworld locations left. So, what is left of the overworld that can be checked right now? Not a lot.
Yeah, it has to be dungeons, I think. We've checked everywhere that I can think of off the top of my head. Except for maybe one location? Yeah. Have we checked the hammer pegs? I don't recall if anyone did.
Oh no, I think you're right. No one. I know Solski or one of them took the dwarf back. I don't think we did. No, one of them did check hammer pegs. It was not in hammer pegs. It was checked.
And we haven't seen Kingston. I don't think we've seen Bonk Rocks.
We did see Bonk Rocks.
Jeez, it's hard to keep track of the locations when you have two runners here. It's even harder when you have to do this as the tracker. So shout out to Merc249 for keeping all the items of the day for us.
Yes, doing a great job clicking the buttons and helping keep us on track as well. Solski is now on the 4th floor of Tower. Hera 2 is a few floors away from the top and is going to fight Moldorm and is going to realize that he just got the double hint. And he is probably like, really? You couldn't tell me about the Ether Medallion? You have to tell me this garbage?
For all we know, our Ether hint could be all the way at Dark Ice. There is that one tile.
Know.
There's that one tile there.
And I see the question chat was K45 checked. Yes, K45 was checked. I think it was bombs in there, if I remember correctly. No, it was the lamp in there. It was the lamp. No, it was the lamp in K45. Right.
Yeah. It was something that was somewhat important. Not a lot. So, Chad, what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be Swamp or is it going to be Eastern?
Get your guesses in chat.
Which one of us commentators is going to be right? Let's find out.
And if you want to double down, pick a chest.
Yeah, I'll double down. Left side Swamp, Pinky chest.
Okay, let's see. Now, has Spike Cave been checked today?
No. That is something our runners have probably put off for a while now.
Very easy for runners to put that off because it's a hard thing to road in, knowing you usually have to save and quit at the end of it. Solski checking the $5 in Mimic Cave. And Leyra is making the Swamp play. So we are going to get to see Swamp before we see Eastern Palace. So we're going to put you to the test first here.
Yes. And just a reminder, folks, we know the green pennant is garbage. It's only arrows, so it's only going to be the 6 chests in here versus the 3 chests in Eastern. When we get down to it.
And we knew that chest was the key because the first chest here has to be a key. Otherwise, you can't go in.
Yep. Which really trips you up if you're playing Key Sanity.
Yep, especially if that's where the key ends up.
And Solski's going to dip back into Turtle Rock here, looking for that last item.
So Leyra's going to pick up the key from the pot here. The reason for this is because if you release the water, you can't pick up the pot and you have to reset the entire dungeon. And
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of runners, a lot of the great runners of this tournament, none of them have ever done that.
well, not to that one at least, because it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean for the second
well,
one.
I stand corrected. It is possible, but only in retro. Even then, you can just buy a key to replace it.
So we are finding the bottom side of Swamp here. Let's see what is in this section right now. Solski is also making the Swamp play, so either both runners are right or both runners are wrong. And look at that. That's a sword location in the bottom of Swamp. So that's the third one I believe we've seen.
If it is the third one, I'm not sure. Well, it's confusing. Don't catch total of the fishes, so Zora's not in play if we haven't found that. If we haven't checked that already.
Zora and Catfish I think both were checked.
Yeah, and LeyraGG was checked. There was also money.
Now here's the key they're more likely to flood, as Leyra avoids that, and sure has never done that before.
And both runners are in Swamp Palace, going with the item density play. We will not see what Eastern has, most likely. Cyclone, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll see who's right.
I mean, if it's right, well played on you for knowing the seed a little bit better than I do.
They had access earlier. There had to be something in there.
Yeah, they had access to it. They've had access to it since they had Light World access, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. We'll see. It could be another location. And this is the better gamble. I agree this is the better location to go because there is more chest density. And I'd probably make this play myself first for the same reason. But just something my gut says it's an Eastern. So Leyra is going to check 2 chests up here. We're going to check the chest on one side. Takes a little damage. Check chest on the one side, then hook shot across the other side and check that one as well. In the first one, we have 5 rupees. In the second one, we're going to find out momentarily when we go through this door. Solski gets the 3rd sword location. And this one has a map. So,
I was wrong.
Not yet.
I was wrong.
Well, your exact chest. Yeah, your exact chest, but it could still be in the dungeon.
Yeah.
So we do still have, I think there's 2 chests in the drain room. There's the waterfall room with the moving block. We have Argus itself. And the big chest. I think that's about it.
Yeah, what's interesting here is that if this wasn't swordless, we'd be fully equipped. Because we now have tempered sword combined between our 3 runners. And that 4th sword just turned to a big red hit, big 20. I don't know why I said it like that. Words are hard sometimes.
Words. And Leyra goes downstairs to the aforementioned drain room, and we're going to push the switch. We're going to drain the water. We're going to hop in, and let's see what's down here at the bottom of the drain area.
And someone's raising a good question, Chad. Does the 4th pile of green 20s turn to a red? I don't remember.
Compass. Bombs. And it does turn into a red. I actually have seen a seed before. I commentated just, I think, earlier this week where Hype Cave had the 4th sword, but for one runner it was the 3rd sword, and we saw both at the same time. There's the big key. Going back to check the big chest. Okay, we're going to get the big chest. Nope, going south. Never mind. Maybe it is big chest. Yeah, going back upstairs for the big chest. That's what's going on here.
Yeah. But no, what I was asking was, in the case of Swordless, does that fourth pile of green 20 rupees turn into a big red?
Yeah, it's a red one. I have seen that. Oh, 20 rupees in the big chest. So unless we have seen all the items, Argus is the last possible location it could be in.
I hate to say it, but I think you're starting to be right. I hate to say it. I'm gonna hold out to hope that Argus has it, but it might be in Eastern. I'm second guessing myself now.
I've been a witch before, so we're gonna find out if that holds here. As Solski is now going up the path, going downstairs, going to drain the room and check the chest down there as well. We know there's nothing of interest down there. Leyra is on the way to, first of all, the key under the pot there, and these annoying spiders always tend to get a lot of runners, me included, in this room because of the flowing water current. Very, very difficult room to navigate. Leyra enters the boss fight and starts plucking the, I don't know what you want to call them, off of the octopus's body. Larvae?
Hang on. I have the database book.
Solski does not check the big key chest.
I have the database book. I have the enemy database bookmarked. I know they have a name. Give me a moment. They're called Argai.
Argai. Okay, there we go. The Argai. And Solski skips the big chest. We know that does have an item, so Solski will have to come back and check that. That tells me that perhaps Argus is just a dungeon item because Solski is making the gamble that the big chest doesn't have anything. So let's see. Let's get a confirmation of this from Leyra in a moment here. Though I thought we saw the compass in the map, so maybe it is still an actual item. Missing the fire rod shots.
Yeah, the enemy names are weird in Link to the Past. Like the ant lions, those are called Devalant. Devalant.
Oh, try the Zyzax. That's an interesting one.
Yes.
So what does Argus have? Argus has the flute! Well then!
I was wrong. And that flute is useless to us. Well,
it was a unique item, but not the one we wanted. Portal back to the Dark World. It's time to... or Light World, rather. It's time to head over to Eastern Palace.
Which we should call that Eastern has the Ether Medallion, most likely.
They had access to it over an hour ago. They could have got it a long time ago and been in go mode by now. This would have been a winning play for either runner. And neither made this play. Now, to be fair, there probably aren't a lot of... There's some runners who would have made this play early just because it's a very quick and easy dungeon to clear in, especially with Swordless and an Inverted. It's a quick and easy dungeon. It's easier to do than some of the other Dark World dungeons at an early point in the game. So some runners would do that, and they would already have the Ether Medallion. But people this late in the game, it's hard to think that there would be something in here. At this point, we think it has to be in here.
And what the flute unlocks in the Dark World is just fast travel, but in the case of inverted mode, all the flute really does is just give us a way to fast get to Misery Mire without the mirror.
Correct. You can access the desert and you'd be able to warp to Misery Mire from the desert in inverted. So the flute is not required.
Yeah.
Okay, first chest in Eastern Palace. Let's see what is in here. We have a map.
And
we have to get the burrito out of the way. Have to have lunch first.
Someone is asking in chat, what are we still looking for? We are looking for Ether specifically. That would be nice to have, but no, it's just Ether. We need that for Misery Mire. It is both of our runners' last item, and it's more likely than not here in Eastern. And Solski's going to read the pedestal.
Yep, the bombs. We knew that already. There it is! At 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 31 seconds, LeyraGG is in...
Go mode.
And exits immediately. So I didn't have the right chest, but we knew it was an Eastern Palace, so there we are.
There we are. So, yeah. We have one dungeon left, and that is Misery Mire. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here, actually, aren't we, Cyclone? But we'll get to that when we finish.
We'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, we'll talk about this fun that you're referring to later on, after Leyra finishes the thing that activates the fun that we will be talking about later on.
Yeah, and Leyra's gonna go straight to desert. I see no reason not to.
Leyra's done desert.
Oh,
you mean Misery Mire? Misery Mire. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the desert region to mirror to Mire.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my mistake.
And it was in the... I want to say it was the compass chest in Eastern Palace?
Yeah,
it was either that or the map chest. Honestly forget which one's which.
If the compass chest is the one you use the hook shot on, then yeah, that would be it's the one you can use the hook shot on. Anyway, Leyra opens Misery Mire. We're gonna just have, as long as the big key shows up quickly, this will be what we refer to as a God Mire. But whenever that big key shows up, we're going straight to the back.
That's right. And sadly, as much as we would love to shoot Argus, or not Argus, Vitreous. Why did I say Argus? As much as we'd love to shoot Vitreous in the eye with
We just killed Argus, so
yeah, it makes sense. As much as we love to shoot Vitreous in the eyes with those silver arrows, that is unfortunately not an option for us. We'll have to use the good old-fashioned hammer, which is not exactly ideal, I might want to add.
If by ideal you mean Menu Simulator 2018, yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy fight. I might even surmise that Leyra might weaken the eyes first with bombs.
That'd be an interesting tactic.
That's probably the only one that makes sense. There's not enough bombs for Leyra to do the full strats on. But it will at least let you lessen the number of hammer swings, which is 5 per eyeball. And I don't know how many for the big eye. Just 8 silver arrows. Let's just go with that. Or 8 regular arrows, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 8 regular arrows because we don't have the silver arrows. If we had silver arrows available, I tell you, that would be a bloody easy boss fight. Looks like Leyra picked up the big key and is heading down to the basement of Misery Mire at this time. Going to work through some technical dark rooms here to get to the other side of the dark area, and is going to go poke some eyeballs.
Yeah, if we had any of sort of arrow capacity, arrows would actually be the much more viable option here because it's 3 arrows per the small eyeball and 8 for the large one. But we don't have enough ammunition on our settings right now to go do that. Now, we could have bought more ammunition over at the Waterfall of Wishing.
Correct.
But there's only half the normal amount of upgrades there, and they cost double the amount of rupees.
It's still better than having no upgrades, which is what happened before the current version. As Solski gets his ether at 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 22 seconds, Solski is in go mode and is right behind Leyra going to the Misery Mire area. This is going to be a race, ladies and gentlemen. Leyra has a bit of an edge here. So, yeah, the upgrades were taken out of the item pool. They used to be part of the item pool in all difficulties prior to the current version. And they were actually removed from the item pool completely, and they returned to their permanent home at the Waterfall of Wishing on the Light World side of Ice Palace, is how you can refer to that.
Yeah.
And that is where they are now, and that's where runners can go. Anytime you buy one of those, you can also get a free arrow refill. So if you're out of arrows, same with bombs, you can get a full stock up just by buying the upgrade.
Yeah, and the bomb upgrade especially is good to remember, because in the off chance that your bomb jump is just not on point, and you run out of bombs, just a quick mirror, reset yourself by buying the bomb upgrade, and try again with 5 more chances on top of that.
Leyra takes on the eye, runs hammer on it, takes a hit, 4 hearts left, keeps hammering, and keeps hammering. And how many more hammer shots? Gotta be only a few left here. Down to 1 heart. Be careful, Leyra. Be very careful. Yes, you have some potion. Good. Uses the potion. May need to get 1 or 2 for the tower. We'll find out if that decision is made. And wow.
A good fight there.
And ladies and gentlemen, that means we have a game that we have to play. If you are a subscriber to any of our speed gaming channels, or if you've donated 250 bits or more, the big key guessing game will now be activated, and you can guess where in Ganon's Tower the big key is located, number 122. Wolflink, where do you think that big key is today?
Given how much of a curveball that Ether Medallion was, but how easy the other items are, I'm gonna say it's a fairly late one. I'm gonna say it's chest 22. I'm gonna go with Tile Room here. I don't like being evil normally, but I'm gonna go with that.
No, you like being evil, just admit it.
Not all the time, but today feels like it'd be an evil day.
Okay. Well, you see what I said in chat there. I say it's always 11 because, well, always. By the way, that was the 4th sword. Solski just opened up the chest that would have had the 4th sword in it. Didn't even see if Leyra opened that or not.
I didn't see it either.
So you're probably wondering why Leyra is going towards Hyrule Castle right now, unless you're familiar with inverted mode. If you are, I don't need to tell you. But if you're not, the reason is because Hyrule Castle is where Ganon's Tower is. How is that possible, you may ask? We revealed earlier that Aghanim's Tower is located where Ganon's Tower normally is in the Dark World. So by logic, where Aghanim's Tower is in the Light World, that's where Ganon's Tower is in the Dark World. And if your head is swimming, sorry.
I'm sorry, I just saw Solski attempting to hover the gap to... But yes, like I said earlier, we basically flopped the Agas. So Aga 1 is it over at Ganon's Tower, and Aga 2 and Ganon's Tower are right here, and no barrier on either. So you can just walk right in. You do get the crystal cutscene, though.
But it's just not as flashy. You don't have to wait for stairs to lower, as you noted. They're both open.
Yeah. And not in the Hope Room, so we're going to move on.
Oh, Leyra picks up the bug catching net. Now, did we check the 2 chests on the right side there? It wasn't in that room, you said?
Yeah, it was chest number 3.
Okay, so...
Or item number 3
was the bug net, yeah. Okay,
and
so...
biting into the bug net kills Bob, so bye, Bob. But
R.I.P. Bob.
But the net is actually useful in Swordless. It's not useful to catch fairies, because fairies are not able to be caught on hard mode. But it is a way to reflect the projectiles at Aghanim, and it's a lot more consistent, actually, than the hammer would ever be.
And all the excitement of looking in the first chest, I actually didn't stop the game, so thank you to the person who stopped the game in chat there. We are on the way through the chest right now. 7 chest locations have been checked, and item locations, I should say, because 1 is in a chest. Solski is fighting the Visine boss, and is... Leyra checks for 50 bucks in the rotating firebar room. 8 locations down. For 16... I can't do math today.
And someone is asking...
14 to go.
And yeah, someone is asking in chat, yes, you do need all the crystals to enter the Aga Tower side here in inverted mode. The requirements are not changed, with the exception of the barrier on Aga 1 is gone.
Correct.
So, for the purpose of Ganon's Tower, you still need all 7 crystals, regardless of this being inverted or open.
So we're now coming up to Randomizer room. This is the room I usually see number 11 appear in, so it's where it is today. Let's see what Leyra finds up in Randomizer room. Why is it called Randomizer room? We only see this room in Randomizer. That's why.
Yep.
Unless you want some goodies.
There's only 2 packs of 10 arrows and 2 packs of 3 bombs here normally. And actually, this is the case for a lot of the chests in Ganon's Tower. That's where the majority of the items of those ammunition refills come from.
Correct. It's basically a place to stock up on your equipment before you go and take on the final challenge. It's basically set up that way to give any runner who is low on items a chance to refuel. So we're going to see the... I don't like to say DCs. We're going to see what is referred to as Bob's chest. Bob is an anti-fairy who is now being cured of its illness. And we're going to see how he looks in all his glory. when we enter that room.
Yeah. If we didn't grab the item off the torch, he would be glitched. It's a weird sort of bug. We don't exactly know what triggers it other than the torch. But for some reason, if you have an item on a torch, the anti-fairies get this glitchy sprite. And it actually does happen if you have Randomizer's enemy shuffle enabled and you have both anti-fairies actually in desert. There is some bobs there.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. That's funny, actually. Okay, 3 chests back here. 15 is a vanilla big key. And just some money in the chest behind that we want to be rich, so we might as well pick it up. So there you go. The big key was in number 15, the vanilla location. My goodness, we have some vanilla to finish the seed today. And Leyra is on the way upstairs. Solski is just about to enter.
Yep, let's go ahead and announce the winner here of the Iggy Guessing game.
And just a quick shout out to our winner today, Kinghorn. You are the winner today of the Big Key Guessing game. What do you win? You win a lovely, lovely, lovely lifetime supply of absolutely nothing. The good news is that...
In all seriousness, though, he does get on the leaderboards here. We'll go ahead and save those results as well.
Yes. But in all seriousness, nothing never runs out. You always have a good deal of nothing, and you can always have more nothing whenever you want to have nothing. And moving ahead, Leyra is now in the big key door area, is going to be 2 rooms away from starting the main gauntlet portion of the Ganon's Tower climb. There's going to be a series of 5 rooms beyond these. Right now we have a spike trap room, and pushing switches in certain timings gets spikes trapped behind those switches. Now we're in the cannonball run. Down to 1.5 hearts. May stop and get some fairies at the end of the room. This might, going to bomb it, and is going to do that. Time to get some fairies.
Alright, now it is time for the gauntlet. 4 rooms of just pure... Where's it 5? 5 rooms of pure gauntlet.
And they get harder as you go. Right now we start on conveyors, and we had some Zizaks and some Stalfos. Now we have just Stalfos, but we also have Beamos on conveyor belts. If you thought that wasn't bad enough, we're going to go to the next door, and we're going to find more Beamos on conveyor belts.
And 3 Zizaks. And arguably, these 2 enemy types are the most annoying because they have random movement.
Exactly.
The red Zizaks can actually tag you with a fireball shot from their mouth.
And now we have Beamos on conveyor belts on ice with spikes, and we have now Beamos on ice. And if you can take out the Zylak or whatever was in here, like Leyra just did, you have completed the gauntlet. It is time for your not so final test, another Lammolas fight. One snake down, 2 to go, and Leyra takes out both of them. And the difference in the fight from Desert Palace is we have this annoying statue spitting fire at us. Leyra picks up a heart and some health, and is on the way upstairs. Solski is through Randomizer room on his side.
Leyra also picking up some magic as well. This is good because the cane is going to make these Wizrobe floors so much easier. And you can see right there.
Using the hookshot to stun the enemies. And I'll note about the in the difficulty, the hard mode difficulty, the boomerang loses its ability to stun, but the hookshot still maintains that. Later in the tournament, when you see expert mode, the hookshot will lose its ability to stun as well. So just a little difference in the usefulness of certain items in your inventory and the different modes.
Yeah, boomerang does not stun on hard, but hookshot still does. But on expert, neither will stun. And actually, on expert, I should mention this real quick. Once we get to brackets, that's going to be ridiculously harder because our drop rate is reduced from 50 to 25.
There's also only a maximum of 9 hearts in the pool. We'll worry about that when we get there. Let's not worry about the fearsome expert mode until we get to it. Solski's picking up his big key from his chest number. I believe he did the right side, so that's probably 15 for him as well. And he is on his way upstairs. Leyra is meanwhile... Go ahead.
Expert will be a thing in brackets there, Crazy Sunshine. Hope you guys enjoy some nasty seeds.
Yeah, they're gonna get fun in the brackets. We're gonna have the top runners playing those seeds for you. It's gonna be entertaining, to say the least, whether they do well or not. So Leyra, I know it's a weird way to say it, but it's true, I guess. So Leyra is now entering the Moldorm 2 fight, and let's see if Moldorm 2 wants to be Trolldorm 2, or if we're gonna actually have a somewhat benign worm today. First hit is fine. Second hit is fine. One more. Pretty good pattern. Yep, that's. I thought he changed. I thought Leyra changed the weapon a little early there, but got the hit in. Will we open the final chest today? No.
Yeah, we can leave Moldar's chest alone.
Yeah,
He hasn't been too much of a bother to the seed.
Yeah, some runners haven't. So go ahead. Sorry.
Hasn't knocked anyone off yet. Sorry, we're just cutting each other off accidentally here, left and right.
But why?
Yeah.
We did it again.
It happens.
Well, I'll just get by to what I was going to say. Normally, there's some runners have a meme. They always open that chest. Some don't touch it at all. It just depends on what the runner feels like, because you don't really need anything out of it unless you're looking for silvers or sword upgrade. Anyway, Leyra is now fighting the geometry boss, Aghanim 2. Now, you may be wondering why it's Aghanim 2 when we have not seen Aghanim yet. It's because we never saw Aghanim 1. We never actually had to fight it in this seed. So Aghanim 2 is basically a triple version of Aghanim. Aghanim 1 is just a single wizard who fires an orb at you, and sometimes a blue ball. We like to play a game related to that, but we don't play that game with Aghanim 2. So I don't think we're seeing a lot of hits on this so far. We're using the bug net. This is the swag strategy for fighting Aghanim 2, or even Aghanim 1.
Yeah, but it might as well be required here in Aga 2, because the only way you can reflect the shots is with a hammer, and that hitbox is terrible on the hammer, as we all know.
That is true. That is true. So it looks like an 8-cycle Aghanim 2. A lot of single hits there, but that's normal when you're limited to a bug net or a hammer. So the bat is released from the wizard's body. Leyra is pulling on the window, or on the wall under the window.
And now it is time to fight the pig. Hammer in hand.
Hammer in hand. And you're probably wondering why we're in front of Hyrule Castle. It's because in the light world, Ganon still makes a hole the exact same size as in the pyramid, and you just right in front of Ganon's tower entrance. So you just drop in.
Yeah. It's convenient in case you miss the silver arrows in his tower. But one has to wonder, where is that hole in the foyer?
Well, Ganon's hungry today, and go ahead.
If I'm just gonna make a joke here. What if the answer to that question, of course, is it's a secret to everybody.
I apologize, you're making a joke there. So Ganon is hungry today, and after a seed after what I saw earlier today, I am still laughing at what I saw related to that, but I won't go over that here because you'll see it in this playlist. Leyra is now in phase 2 of the Ganon fight. For phase 1 was just throwing the trident. Phase 2 is now trying to hit you with a ring of fire that turns into fire bats that are very, very dangerous, and take some health off of you. The 8 shots per ring. And down to 1 heart. This is very, very nasty. I don't know if Leyra restocked on potions. This might give Solski a chance to get back in the game.
It is 12 hammer strikes a phase. 4 more when we get to phase 3, which is the ground pound phase. And then we have to keep the torches lit. Strike with a hammer. Here to stun.
Leyra's in phase 3. Leyra is in phase 3, so we're getting to the point that the tiles are going to come out now. But 1 heart is very, very scary. The question is, can Leyra get through the final phase? It does have the silver arrow, so that will make it easier, but can we get through the final phase without taking a Ganon hug or any kind of damage? Because any kind of damage at this point will kill. And Ganon is very warpy today on that last part of phase 3, but the last hit is applied. Did you find the arrows in the dark road? Would you like to try them, Ganon? Please, enjoy.
Yeah. There's not much to keep the torches lit, but a little bit of spamming of the lamp should suffice. And we really need one lamp to use to actually work.
Oh, that was so close. Ganon got the fire bat out, but and almost got Leyra, but Leyra did get away just in time. Oh, again! Wow.
And get your GGs in the chat for Leyra. GG.
Not yet. We haven't gotten a kill yet.
Oh, the end.
Get that last hit, Leyra. Come on. There it is. Now you can get your GGs in Leyra for Leyra in chat as LeyraGG finishes. Well, it's not quite yet. We have to cross the bridge first, but we'll be finishing the seed, and we'll get time for you as soon as we cross the bridge.
Yeah, sorry about that. It froze on my end. I thought that was the last hit.
And Leyra did finish. And let's hit the Triforce comment first. OMG. Yep, I believe it. So the official SRL time was 2 hours, 0 minutes, and 40 seconds. Just shy of a sub-2 on a swordless hard inverted seed. Not bad at all. We'll see if we can get Leyra in here to chat about the seed. Solski, meanwhile, is on the Ganon fight. We're actually going to hold on bringing Leyra in until we see Solski finish, because I think Solski will probably finish very soon, seeing that we are in the Ganon fight.
Leyra's here, actually.
Oh, Leyra's already here.
Hey, GG's, guys.
So, inverted, swordless, hard difficulty. That was a tall order to fill. Walk us through the seed.
It was tough. I was expecting a lot of deaths, and actually, I didn't really have too many non-intentional deaths, so I wasn't too unhappy with that. I was a little bummed I missed out on that like 10-minute light world access because I didn't want to go to the back of Thieves, but I was a little nervous for a while there. I orphaned a lot of spots because I'm a Dumbo. I forgot I had mitts because you like so often in inverted don't get mitts, so I didn't check King's Tomb when I could have. I got nervous about skipping Hera Basement. When I decided not to do Eastern right after Pod, I felt like that was going to bite me, and it did. But it was a tough seed, so got a little lucky that I guess Solski died to Cold Stare.
Yeah, Solski did die to Cold Stare, unfortunately. He got tagged by one of the pups. Really, it was more of a pincer move, actually, now if I think about it right.
If it wasn't for that, it might be a different result or even a very close race, too, as Solski now does finish the Ganon fight and is also going to be crossing the bridge in just a moment. And we'll continue talking in a second. We just want to get Solski in here as well if we can. Solski's official time on the seed was 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds. Just 2 minutes and 7 seconds behind Leyra's time. And yeah, the trip to Cold Stare I think is longer than that, so this could have been a different result if not for that death to Cold Stare today.
Yeah, it was just the Cold Stare fight. Also, just you knowing to go to Eastern Swamp after finding the fire rod, I think it was.
Yeah, I think Fire Rod was the last thing I found before Ether. But yeah, I kind of put off Eastern for a while because I felt like I honestly expected that he would have linked it together with Pod like I was planning on, but there were a lot of dungeons to be done at that point, so I kind of get it. I guess he did a few more overworld checks than I did at that point, which got me a little time buffer.
Yeah. We noticed the Smiths. We noticed quite a few things. It really just was the Ether night, and we are now joined by Solski. GGU. Oof, what a seed.
It was fine.
So, yeah. Solski, walk us through that seed, how you felt with that one today.
Felt a little sloppy. Just execution-wise, my menu time was pretty bad. For those watching at home to watch that menu time, it's graphic. Cold Stare death, I mean, timing-wise, just cost me the win. And other than that, felt I played okay. Just route was okay, boots were late, kind of sucked, but other than that, it was fine. My GT, though, that was a really, really good GT, though. I was really happy with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that cold stare kind of caught you. Kind of got pincered by him pretty hard.
That's so that's like a PSA of why you never go in the corner on a swordless cold stare fight, by the way. Especially without like fire rod or a safety to bail you in like a hard mode. Because you always want to, like, if you're low on health, you want to try and stay north just to avoid the ice falling. But if you're okay on health, I'd have a lot more mobility just staying in the center of the room. That way, I'd be able to time out the ice falling and the puff movements as well better. But I was kind of, I had a really bad fight to start, and it kind of handcuffed me to where I was going with it. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's sorry. Just great race between me and Lyra. I think overall, just the timing, very strong opponent, and it's gonna be a lot of fun this series.
Yeah, you GG's. I was kind of thinking we'd have some close races, and it seems like we definitely did this time. I'm not gonna lie. When I got that bow, I felt for sure it was pointing up to Agaton. Bow and mitts, I was like, oh, I'm definitely finding the lamp and have to do it bow Aga. But
Yeah, the seed actually wanted you to go to Eastern really early. That
Yeah.
that Ether medallion could have been a lot sooner than it could have been.
And the lamp was
Easily
very
been
early.
sub-
So I didn't mean to cut you off. The lamp was very early in Seed 2. As soon as you got the mirror, you could go to K45 and get the lamp. So
Yeah.
the game wanted you to go to Eastern, I think probably about an hour before either of you went there, if I'm doing the timing on that correctly. Why did neither of you check Eastern Palace earlier to get that ether?
yes, I mean, it's a pendant Eastern, and it's kind of a pain to get over there. And I don't know, felt like there was 6 crystal dungeons to be done before I needed that ether medallion. So I don't know, just didn't feel like like I said, I was originally planning on pairing it after pod, and then after pod, I was like, let me just knock out the rest of these crystal dungeons first before going to Eastern. But
Yeah, like I said, it could have been easily a sub 2 if it was an early dive into Eastern, but it ended up being the near last location for both of you actually. Because
Yeah.
I think all we had left was Spike Cave after that, and maybe King's Tomb. I wasn't actually too aware.
So in my case, I kind of route inverted a little different. I kind of section it off. I feel like if you try to route inverted all at once, it's really, really slow. So in my case, with taking the cold stare death, that's probably half the reason why I didn't want to go to Eastern, just because I need to make up some time. It's another 2 minutes I'm going to lose, right? So I knew I had Desert ahead of me now. I knew I had Bombos ahead of me in a kind of a mini route, and the fat fairy chest. So after that, once I got fire rod, I mean that pretty much just sealed my fate of never going there until it was like one of my last checks.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there was also another big difference in which Solski, you went straight to Skull Woods, but Leyra went to the Thieves Town at the time, didn't go to finish it, and then actually went to check Pedestal and then did Moth, which saved him time to backtrack.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake on my part not to get the pedestal check in at the time, because I knew I had a route in that with mushroom and boots lock locations in that route, and it just with the mistake, I didn't want to go all the way down south for another minute worth of travel to get pedestal on that. So I got and just took my lumps at the time and just carried on with the route.
I mean, considering that you have to do what 2 transitions, whereas it's just 1, and go 3 or 4 going through the Skull Woods, it probably would have saved you a couple seconds at least.
well, the other problem is, at least I didn't have a small key at that point, so I mirrored from Light World after the pedestal check and thought to myself, I'm pretty sure I don't have a small key. So I thought about going back to pick up the one under the pot, but I said, screw it, I'll just go, because I was like 90% sure there'd be one in the chest in the back of the skull at that point. But it didn't actually save me as much time as I was hoping, because I didn't have that small key, so I had to get that stupid chest all the way at the back, or, the whatever you even want to call that chest that's right below the bridge in the entrance to Skull 3.
Yeah.
Something.
How'd you like the? I was gonna say, how'd you like the double hint in Tower of Hera to help you out today?
Yeah, that sucked.
Fixed hints.
Oh, Hera was a pile of garbage.
Yeah. It's a shame that neither one of you had the mirror at the time check cave, because there is that one hint there that's really isolated, but with it's inverted, it's just a quick mirror away. We never did see that. Could have told you where Ether was.
I'm actually curious to see Solski's item collection rate. I figure based on the collection, they're probably going to be at most maybe 1 or 2 items a partner. So I'm curious to see what that rate comes up as before we wrap here as well. Leyra has 170 out of 216 and the in-game time just above 159.
Well, while we're at it, while we're waiting, Solski, Leyra, this is only your first game between each other, so you two will be facing Leyra. You want us to give a little hint of what we're going to be seeing next time?
Actually, we scheduled already. We're on Thursday, same time, 6 o'clock, and we're doing. I don't even remember what I picked. What I picked, Swordless Randomizer, I think.
Yeah, it was like I think all dungeons hard Swordless Randomizer, or was it normal? I think it was normal.
Did I pick all dungeons? I don't even remember.
I can get a confirmation of this. I can get a confirmation of this. I just brought it up right now. It is a Ganon open swordless normal Randomizer at 6:30 p.m. on the 15th on Thursday, as you noted. So just a quick advertisement, that second match is already in there. You know when to come, if it gets broadcast. Otherwise, you can go to their channels and watch it between them as well. But you know where that race is. If you want to catch that, anyone in chat, you can definitely follow along with that race.
So the only other question I have to ask you guys is, any final thoughts on the seed?
It was honestly not too bad. It wasn't as punishing as a lot of swordless hard mode inverted can be, but I'm glad we had a nice close race. I think the last two should be pretty good too. GG's, dude.
That was a great race. A lot of fun. Looking forward to the series.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how those other 2 races go as well. That was a great race. We enjoyed watching it. Chat enjoyed watching it. And look at that. 1 apart, just as I thought. The 169 for Solski, 170 for Leyra, but Solski had an extra 2 minutes of travel time and menuing, as you noted, plus that death to cold stare.
Yeah.
Plus that death to cold stare. That's where the difference came in today, it looks like.
Yeah.
So let me cover... Oh, sorry. So you have any final thoughts on the seed before I go to covering schedule here?
I'm just going to say what I usually say. Make sure to give these two a follow here. Solski and LeyraGG putting on excellent tonight. While you're at it, make sure to also give my co-commentators Cyclone a follow, as well as our tracker Merc249. And, of course, we are on the original Speed Gaming. We also have Speed Gaming's 2 through 6. And we also have a French, a Spanish, and a German restream for those who are more familiar with listening to those languages.
And
actually...
Speaking of Speed Gaming 2 to 6, I want to cover some races going on those channels right now as well, actually. I was actually trying to find out if the runners had any final thoughts. Do the runners have any final thoughts before we go into that?
I think we hit it up pretty good.
Okay, I guess we'll go with that then. So let's find a couple races that we can get you people in chat who might still be looking for more randomizer to go watch. We have a race that's probably getting close to finishing up on Speed Gaming 3 right now between Ninban and Jay Misher. Or because it's an inverted seed like this one, it might just be getting started. I don't know yet. But it's an hour in already, so they're in the second hour of that race. We have P-Train versus Pryor just started on Speed Gaming 4. They're doing it all dungeons with no variations on it. I know there is another inverted, hard inverted seed coming up later tonight at 9:30. I'm just getting the information for that right now. That is on this channel, actually, in about 42 minutes from now. You're going to see Kyong versus Jay Rossums. As I said, that's an all dungeons inverted hard difficulty seed. So the only difference is they have all dungeons, whereas here it was swordless, and we just had to beat Ganon. And then the final race of the night on Speed Gaming channels is Tadario versus Chex Human. That's on this main channel as well, right after Kyong and Jay Rossums at 12:30 a.m. So you've got 2 more races coming up on this channel, 2 already going on other channels. You got lots of randomizer going on today.
And actually, in the coming days, I want to mention this because I was about to.
Go ahead, sorry.
The finals of the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament are going to be held, and we will be giving you English commentary for those races in the days to come.
And I'm looking forward to seeing 2 of the top German runners on our English channels and getting a chance to watch and possibly, if selected, even call one of those races myself. I'd love to see that up close myself. So we look forward to having those races for you in the... I'm going to guess probably on the main Speed Gaming channel, but we'll find out where they get scheduled and find out where they're slotted. I'm going to look ahead tomorrow and find out, actually, because the first of those races is tomorrow at 1 p.m. And all the races of the series are at 1 p.m. all the way through Saturday, and that will finish the series. It is on Speed Gaming 1. It's showing the German word for Dosh. I can't say that properly. I apologize. And it says ALTTPR Chernier. So it is talking about same game. That's the same thing. It's just the German race under that name. So that's what is coming on 1 o'clock tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until the series is over. It's being done as a 5-game series. I forget who it is, but one player is going to have a win immediately starting out because they're the winners bracket champion. They get the win from that by default. So it's going to basically be 4 games to decide it.
Yes. But that's going to do it for us here from the Link to Fast Randomizer Fall Tournament. So I have been Wolfling0370, and we just saw you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone, and thanks for watching.
And have a good night, everyone. And if you need one more thing, if you need something else to watch, Zelda 2 Randomizer on Speed Gaming 2 tonight as well. Have a great night, everyone, and see you next time.